So I hope my eclipse is visible.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so in the last session, when we connected, we talked about the operators. We talked about the arithmetic and we talked about the bitwise operators. Okay, so now moving further, we are about to see the remaining three operators. So let's go ahead. Okay, so the
So,
operators that we left is short circuit logical, bitwise we have seen, and the arithmetic we have seen. We are left with these three. Okay, so let's talk one by one. Okay, all right. Yes, so coming further.
relational, I think we have seen, not
No,
seen.
no, we have seen bitwise and the arithmetic operator. So we
Okay,
have
okay.
to talk about the relational, ternary, and short circuit. Okay, so let's go ahead. Relational. Okay, so relational operator means just you can say like less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, and then you can say equal to and not equal to. Okay, so these are the relational operators: less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then equals to and not equal. Okay, not equal to. So we will be using this in our programs. Now coming over to the ternary operator. So the ternary operator syntax, if you see, is my font is fine for you?
Yeah, it is fine.
All right, perfect.
I have increased from my side screen.
No, if you want, let me know so that I can increase the font my end as well.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Now coming over to the ternary operator, we do have a syntax over here. So which means like you will be having a conditions. Okay, so you'll be having a test condition. So for example, let's say like you'll be having a condition, and if this is what the ternary operators we can say, question mark colon. So you will be having a condition. If this condition is true, the statement which is next to the question mark will get executed. And if this condition is false, the statement which is next to the colon will be executed. Okay, so now let's see over here. Okay, let me create a class. Now let's say like I'm having int value 1 is equal to 5. Similarly, I'm going to keep the int value 2 as 6. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check a condition. So what, I mean, basically we will say, right, like value 1 is equal to value 2 or not. So coming over here, this data type, I think student somewhere, did you check? Okay, I think we didn't check about that. All right. So now coming over here, let's see. We wanted to check, okay, whether this value 1 is greater than value 2 or not. So basically coming over here, your relational operator, your ternary operator, and your short circuit operator. So these three operators will come along with the conditionals. It come along with the conditionals.
If
So
else,
yes. Yes. You mean to say something?
if else conditions.
Exactly. If else. And then you will say if else if. Then if else if else. Okay, so you will be having like this, which means like if you want to provide a condition. So the syntax for the if statement, if you see, it will be like this. If and your condition, and if that condition is true, the set of statements that will be executed. Set of commands that executed. Now this condition, okay, this condition, okay. So now similarly for the if else if you see, the syntax will be else, and you will be having your set of commands to execute. Now coming over here, okay, this if else, you can replace this if else with a ternary operator. So you can say this as a replacement for the if else conditions. Okay, let's see how we can write it. Now coming over here, let's go ahead. Now let's see whether the value 1 and value 2 is greater than or not. Let's say value 1 is greater than value 2 or not. So in order to check that, we will be using the relational operator because we have the greater than symbol there only, right? So we will be using the relational operator. So now let's go ahead and let's say if value 1 is greater than value 2, then what will happen over here? Then what happens over here? Let's say like, okay, okay, now let's say like value 1 is greater than value 2. Okay, so this we are going to print it out. Suppose if it is not, then you can go ahead with the else statement. So you can either have greater than symbol, or you can, you can have only the if statement, or you can also have else also. So now what you can do, you can also put an else statement, else, yes. Okay, you have a else statement. So now let's have a look about the output. Okay, now coming over here to the output, if you see, if I execute it, isn't launches. Okay, click run as run application. So you can see 5 is greater than 6. Okay, but both the values are greater than. So let me see like this. So you can see 5 is lower than 6. So first what happens over here, it will go ahead and check this condition. Value 1, it will replace the value 1 variable with the value 5, and value 2 will be replaced with 6. It will check whether 5 is greater than 6 or not. No, the condition is false. So it will move on to the else. What will happen if there is no else block? What will happen if there is no else block? The statement, no output will be printed for us. No output will be printed for us. So you can have an else also. The multiple, like let's say like, okay, now you can replace this with the ternary operator. How you can replace?
1 second, just for sorry for interruption.
Yes.
Sahil, this coordinator is there. Hello.
Yeah, I think Jayant is there. Hello? Jayant, are you there?
It's okay.
Okay, I'll just ping on the
Yeah.
chat so that he'll be joining. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now coming over here, the ternary operator. So now how you can replace this if else with a ternary operator? Let's have a look. So first you have to provide a condition, and then if the condition is true, you have to say the true statement after the colon, and then colon, that will say the false. Now here our condition is value 1 greater than value 2. Value 1 greater than value 2. Then in the true, you want to print this particular one, right? In the print, you have to, let's say this one. And with this one, you have to say okay. Now coming over here, so instead of using the print statement over here, basically where we use this ternary operator is where we use is, suppose if you want to
Just I
substitute
have one
some.
question. If we are using ternary operator, do we need to use this if else statement, or it is
No,
replacement of this statement, like condition question mark expression one or express, then after that expression two?
this is completely a replacement. If you're
Replacement.
using a ternary operator, you don't want to use the if-else statement.
So
Now
in
let's,
ternary,
yeah. Now let's have a scenario. Let's see, check whether value 1 is greater than value 2 or not. Okay, if yes, okay, print value 1. If no, okay, if no, print value 2. So this is our scenario. So how you write it in the if else? So simply instead of saying this value 1 is greater than, simply you will say value 1. And here you will be saying like value 2, like this, right? So now how you can write it over here? Okay, now let's say value 1, and here it will be value 2. So you want to check, or in a simple statement we can say, let's say like you want to check which number is greater. You want to check among the two values which value is greater. So that is what you're going to write a condition. So how you can write it? So condition is like, let's say like value 1 greater than value 2 question mark, and you can say value 1. If it is false, value 2. That's it. Okay, so now coming over here, if you see how you can use this. So let me put it in the brackets, condition brackets, and then write. Now, whenever you're using a ternary operator, you can assign the value, okay, assign the value of your, of your expression to some variable. You can assign the value to the variable and you can print it out.
int result equal to or string result equal to?
Result equal to, because why we are saying int? Because our
We want
value
to
1.
we want the value, that's it. If we
Ah.
want value 1 is greater, then we will put in string, string result equal to.
See here value 1 is 5, right? Value 2 is 6. See, we wanted to say whether value 1 is greater than value 2 or not. We have to check. If it is
Okay.
yes, we have to print value 1. If it is not, we have to take value 2. So you can make use of this ternary operator. Basically, the ternary operator value using, like the first thing is replacement. Okay, writing
And
the 5 lines of code, you can replace them into one liner. So
what is nested?
I'll
Nested
come to that.
ternary.
I'll come to that next. Okay. So here you find the code efficiency, right? Your memory space is also less over here. Okay. So now if you go ahead and if you print, you'll be having a 6. Now coming over to the next is nested. Okay. When you say nested, having a if statement inside the one more. Let's say like int value 3 equals to 4. Now let's say we want to write a simple program. Let's say, okay, we want to write a program to check the smallest number or smallest value. Okay. Now, how will you write a condition for that? You want to check
Int
which is
max
smallest.
same int is smallest is equal to,
How
or
you
int
okay?
int
Now,
int
first let's write
smallest
with
is
the
equal
yes.
to value 1 greater than value 2, or then question or greater than value 3 question mark, then we will put the two conditions.
Okay. Now coming over here, first let's write the if statement, then we will convert it. Okay. All right. So now how will you provide this? I want it in the if statement.
It will be like int minimum or int smallest is equal to, same way we will print like we printed for this simple ternary operator. We will print, but we will put three conditions in that.
See, if you want to write it over here, let's say like if value 1 is less than or equal to, or let's say less than, okay, value 2. So if value 1 is less than value 2, then you can go ahead and check with the value 3. Okay, so again, you're going to have a if value 1 is less than value 3. Okay, so with this, you will say value 1 is the smallest. Okay, the smallest number is value 1, right? So the similar way, coming over here, suppose if value 1 is greater than value 3, then we will say value 3 is the smallest. Do you agree? Do you agree with this? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so now coming over here, okay, now the same thing. Now value 1 is less than value 2, we are going inside. Now if not, else you have to check if value 2 is less than value 3. In that case, you will say the smallest number is value 2. If not, you will be saying value 3. This is right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you sure?
If else if value 2 is less than value 3,
Having a
then
if else statement inside, one more if else statement.
yeah.
Okay, now see, coming over here to figure it out. Okay, to figure it out, how many lines we have right? So nearly, let's say this much, right? So let's say, let's count from this because we have values also, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, nearly 12, 13 lines of code we have written, right? 13 lines of code. Now, how you can use it in the ternary operator? So when you execute this, you will get, so according to us, value 3 is the smallest, right? So you can say the smallest number is 4. Now, how you can make use of the ternary operator? So now let's say smallest equal to, okay?
Value 1 is less than value 2.
Perfect, yes. Then if it is true, again you want to check this, right? Again you have to check this. So I'm going to have one more bracket. Now if this is true, you want to say value 1. If not, value 3, right?
Yeah.
Now colon, the next thing you have to say, this particular one. If this is true, you have to say value 2. If not, value 3, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So your nested if in a one single statement, the line 11 lines in one line, right? So this is what we call it like a code efficiency. Okay, so simply we can say like the smallest number is, you can say smallest. Okay, so here you can say like ternary. Now if you execute, you can see the smallest number is 4. Now, coming over here, if you see, we are hard coding the value. If you see over here, 5, 6, 4. So, we are hard coding the value over here, right? But in the real time, it won't be like this. We will be getting the inputs from the user. Okay? We will be getting the inputs from the user. So, now how you can do that? So, let's write a one more program over here. Okay? And let's say like smallest number. Let's say the program file is smallest number. Okay, so the one which we written in the ternary, the same thing we are going to write it over here. So what I do, I will take this thing. Okay, I will take this particular line and I'm going to put it over here. But coming over here, the value 1, value 2, value 3. Okay, value 1, value 2, value 3. So we are going to get it from the user. Okay, we are going to get it from the user. Okay, so for that we will be making use of a package called scanner package. Scanner.
Which package is scanner?
Scanner. Okay, scanner is a model that comes from the Java util package. Okay, scanner is a class that comes with a Java util. So now in this, let's provide a variable. Now here you can create an object for the scanner class. So here we are going to say system.in In refers the input. System.out, out refers the output. In represents the input. So now coming over here. So when you say system.in inside your scanner class, okay, when you're creating an object, if you pass the system in, okay, you're going to wait for some time so the user will provide you the input. So now let's say system.out that comes as a output, right? So now you want to print something. So let's say like enter the first number. So you can say this, you can assign this value 1 to that. And in a similar way, you can say like second number and third number. Second number, third number. Now, value 1, value 2, value 3 only we have written, but we didn't assign anything over here, right? We have to assign it, which means like you have to say, take this value, take this variable name, let's say scanner dot. Can you see next int? Next int. So you can see scans the next token of the input as the int. Okay. Though you are selecting the int, whatever value you are entering, it will be considered as an int. Okay.
One second, how you imported this Java scanner? Can you show me again?
Okay. Now coming over here. Now let's say start typing the scanner, control space. It will give you the suggestion box. If this is the one, press enter. Automatically it will be added.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now scanner. So though you want to add an input, though you wanted to add an input and that to int type, so you can say next int. Suppose if you want a byte, you can say next byte. Suppose if it is a short, next short. So like this, you will be having here. So next, if it is a string, you can simply say next. Okay, you can simply say next. Now we want it as an integer. So let's go with the next int. And then similarly for the value 2 also, we want to write it. And similarly for the value 3 as well. Okay, scanner dot next int, next int. So now see the difference over here when you execute this. Can you see enter the first number? So the compiler is waiting for you to enter the input. So that is what scanner dot next int. It is waiting. So if you say 56, enter. Can you see? Enter the second number. Okay, enter the second number. Now you can say 86, third number. Okay, 10. So you can see the output over here. The smallest number is 10 using the ternary operator. Okay, using the ternary operator, the smallest number is 10. So
Can you
you
do it again? Just because
which one you wanted to
some
do?
this one. How you did system out print enter the first number. Okay, into
This
value
one.
one scanner dot next int.
So this one will let the compiler to wait to make sure the user enter the input. So now you can enter the input, let's say 45. Enter. As soon as you provide the input and say enter, the compiler will move on to the next line. Okay.
Yeah,
So now,
understand. So you variabilize that and you not define the value. You only, you declare it the variable. That's it. You not in here. You are giving the numbers in the prompt.
exactly. Okay. Now with the concepts,
Uh,
whatever you have learned so
if
far, yeah.
we want to define initially, we can also define their number into value 1 is equal to 45, into value is equal to 2 is equal to 56, like that.
Yes, we can do that also. So that is what we did over here. See, value 1 equal to 5, value 2 equal to 6. So instead of
Yeah,
hard coding the value, hard coding means we provide the inputs. Okay,
yeah,
we
hard
provide
coding,
the
yes.
inputs. Okay, instead of doing that, get the input from the user. Okay, get the input from the user.
User, yeah.
Okay, now coming over here.
So line while if we will go line by line, then we will say first we declare the object for scanner class, then after that we print the first number, then again we initialize this is int value one is equal to scanner We are initializing the first object, correct?
Exactly. I mean, the same object only we are reusing it. If you see scanner, scanner is a
We
reference variable of the scanner object, right? So we
Yeah.
are reusing the same reference variable only with the replacing value. So 45 will be replaced with 56 and 56 will be replaced with 86.
We are saying here it's a reference variable. We can say object also, scanner object.
Yeah, you can say.
We are initializing the object. Here we are declaring the object, creating the object. Here we are initializing that
Exactly.
object.
Yes. Okay. Is that is clear?
So when we are initializing, it will go for this logic. Then after that, we are putting this into smallest, this one. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Hmm? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, coming over here with the concept, except this short circuit, with the concept, whatever we have learned so far, you can write your own program with the concept, whatever we have learned. So now coming over here, the assignment for today, let me write it. Okay. So assignment for today, the first one is you want to write a simple Java program for a basic calculator. Okay, calculator, and it is going to be a menu driven. Okay, basic menu driven calculator. What does it mean? So I want the output. So basic calculator means your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I want the output in this way. Okay, I want the output. So you want to display like this. Select an operation. Okay, you want to say 1 for add, 2 for subtract, 3 for multiply, 4 for division. Okay, and coming over here, you have to say enter
Num
your choice. It's completely a menu driven, so you want to get input from the user only. Okay,
Okay.
you want to get the input from the user only. Even the number, whatever you want to get it from the user only. You can take two numbers as of now. Okay, you don't want to go with the 3 or 4, you just go with the two numbers. Okay, so you enter your choice. So
Okay.
let's say like enter your choice, let's say like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, now let's say like if you say 1, you can say enter the first number. They can enter, let's say like if they say 23, let's say enter the second number. They can say 7. So now you have to say the result. You have to say the result at 23 plus 7, 30. So result is 30. Okay. Suppose if the user, okay, so this is one input, right? One output. Now again, if the user enters other number than 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If the user enters any other number than this, you have to say wrong selection, or you can say wrong choice.
Enter your choice 1, 2, 3, 4. I not understand what you.
This is number you have given, right? So 1, if you say 1, it has to go with the addition. If you say 2,
Okay.
it has to go with subtraction. If it is 3, you have to go with multiplication. If it is 4, you have to say division. Suppose if the user entered any other number than this, 5, 6, 0, like that, you have to say wrong choice. Try again later.
Okay. This message should print after that.
Exactly. So now coming over here, you're covering the operators, arithmetic operators. So with this, you are covering the conditionals. Okay. And then coming over here, conditions is covered. Then you're going to get the input from the user. So you are covering the scanner also. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now let's go on to the next one. That is the next operator which we have is short circuit logical. So which we call it like a normal OR operator, AND operator, and NOT operator. Your short circuit logical is nothing but you are having OR operator, NOT operator, and AND operator. Now coming over here, or you will have this two pipe symbol, and you will have this two ampersand symbol, not you will have this exclamatory symbol. Okay, so if you say if you say value 1, value 2, if value 1 is true and value 2 is false, let's say value 1 is true, okay, and then let's say value 2 is false. So for the OR operator, if you see, if any one of the condition is true, okay, if any one of the value is true, then the output
It
will
will
be
print
true.
true.
Now what
If
about this one?
it will print the reverse, not true.
Both the conditions, both the values should be true. If not, false. The reverse will be for not. If you say true, it will be false. If you say false, the true. Okay. So if you say not of value 1, then it will be false. If you say not of value 2, then it will say true.
True.
Okay. This is what the short circuit logical. Is it
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, yes, with this, the operators are completed. Okay. So now coming over here, you have the calculator option. At the same time, I'll give one more option also. Okay. Let's say like one more program. You can make use of, you can bring it to your imaginary part over here. Okay, you can bring it. So for calculator, I have given the output like this, right? So for this program, you can implement your own thoughts. Okay, basic menu driven banking application. So banking application, basic thing means deposit and withdraw. Right? Deposit and withdraw functionalities. That alone you have to implement. So basic means you can have the deposit and withdraw. Okay. So you can fix the balance amount. Okay. You can fix the balance amount initially. Let's say like initial int balance equal to 10,000. So you can keep that like that. So for example, though it is a balance amount, it will be huge also. You can go ahead with a double. So which will have the decimal points, right? So you can say like double balance equal to let's say like 10,000. So you can hard code this value. Okay, keep this as a balance and do the deposit and withdraw.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So you can bring it your imaginary. So this is the sample I have given. So based on this, you can go ahead and do this. So with
In
these
this,
two,
1 second, in this first, you remove the first condition. There are two conditions. Na? If we are inserting 1, 2, 3, 4, can you write one line after 52 line? This you have given that if we are not putting 1, 2, 3, 4, and if we are putting 1, 2, 3, 4, can you write that line also? Yeah.
yeah, see, this is just I have given a sample. You can enhance your program. This is entirely your program. You can enhance it. I just given a sample one only.
Okay,
Okay,
no.
either you can go ahead with the same thing or you can bring it to your own imaginary concept also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yes. Okay. So this the basic menu driven. So everything you're going to do it in the console, right? So that we call it like a command line program. Command
Yeah.
line program. Okay.
Yeah.
So using the command line interface, you are going to perform it. So that is what this is. So these are the basic things that we have. The next thing which we have is typecasting. So typecasting is one more important concept over here. Okay, so this is your assignment part. Next, we will discuss about the next term, that is typecasting. In Java, typecasting is very, very important because here you have two types of typecasting. But before to that, what is typecasting? What is typecasting? Now, coming over here, let me see. Let's take this one. We want to enter the number. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if I
Make the new one. I think make the new one instead
I'm
of.
just giving a reference. I'm just giving a reference, then
Okay.
I will go with it. So now coming over here. So I want to enter the number, but I'm giving it as ABC. Can you see here? So you can see the error over here, that is input mismatch exception, which means like it wanted a number, but we have provided a string value, right? We provided a string value. The similar way coming over here, let me do it this. Now let me say int number 1 equals to, okay, let me say 20. String number 2 equals to 10. Int result equal to number 1 plus number 2. Now can you see the error which is coming up over there? Okay, what is that error?
One second.
Yeah.
Enter the first number because you entered the ABC. It's not int form. It's
Now
in
forget about
string.
this particular one. Okay, forget about this console. I have written a new code over here. Okay, new code over here, that is number 1 plus number 2. So if you see over here, int number 1 is 20, string, okay, so string number 2 is
This is
10.
typecasting because string we can we are putting number is equal to 10, but we are putting string as a input value. Then we are putting the double comma after that.
Okay, we have given a quotation over here. Though it is a
Yeah,
string, we have to
quotation.
enter the value in the quotations, right? Within the quotes only we have to write it. So now here I'm just adding the integer type and the string type. So the data type is different, right?
Yeah.
Data type is different. So now what will happen if I say float number 3 equals to let's say 15.3. The floating I have to say yes. Yeah. Now what will happen if I say 3? Will it accept? Right? You can see it is coming an error over here. So that is what? So converting one type into the another type, that is what we call it like a typecasting. So now number 2 is a string, but you want to convert it to the integer to get your result. So you have to typecast your string value with the integer. How you do that? So here you have to call the integer class. Here you have to call the integer class dot, you have parse int. You can see parse int. So you can see if you want to convert, okay, if you want to convert the string to integer, then only you have to go with the parse int. Okay, you can select the parse int and number 2. Now you can see the error disappeared. And if you go ahead and run, you can see the addition of 2 numbers is 30.
So we can typecast only for string to number only converting. If we cannot do for so that is not required, I think, into a string.
Into the string, okay. Now you need it that, right? So let's say that. Okay, now I'm going to say in string, okay, value is equal to
Number 2.
number 1 plus number 2. I'm using the same thing. Now what happens? Now what happens?
Here number 2 is okay, string number 2, but for number 1 we need to typecast, I think.
Number 1, okay, so now let's say I will print this one. This is the output of this, right? Okay. Okay, this, let's say like string value result. This one will value. Now let's see. 20, 10. Can you see?
One
Number one
second.
is 20.
Hmm.
Number one is 20. Number two is 10. So automatically what is happening? It
It's print.
yeah, concatenation. So here in the string value, when you are considering a string, this plus is denoted as concatenate option.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
call this plus symbol as concatenate. Okay, which
What
means joining two values.
what about in first one, first condition that you did? Can we do go
This
for
one,
again? I have not seen in that console actually that.
which one? This one.
Because see, the problem is that I was calling to this coordinator guy because my on laptop this meeting link is not working. I have joined from my mobile, so in my mobile the screen is small actually. So
Okay,
I yeah, it is. Can you show me again this in the
sure,
first
sure.
condition
I will do
result?
that. So now coming over here, this integer part, right? So
Hmm.
here number one is 20, which is an integer value, but
Hmm.
number two is a string value. So
Hmm.
when you combine that with, combining like int with the string, then it comes an error. So you want to typecast it. Typecast means converting one data type into another data type. So
Yes.
converting your string to integer. Okay, converting your string to integer so that you use this particular one, integer class dot parseInt, and you will be passing the string value
So what is the result in the console?
30, because you're converting the string to the integer.
Yeah.
So 10 is string value 10 is converted to the integer value 10. So
Hmm.
number one is 20 and number two, this one gives 10, and then you can go ahead. 10 plus 20 is 30. But the same thing if you see with the string value, number one is 20, which is of integer. Number two is 10, which is of string. But here we are not performing any typecasting, but it directly concatenate without any error. It given the output. How and why? How and why? See, for the previous one, we have to mention the typecast. We have to mention the data type to which it has to convert. But for the second one, we didn't, right? For the second one, we didn't. We didn't do any typecasting. How? What is that?
It's concatenate.
It's concatenate. Okay, concatenate between the integer type and the string type, right?
Hmm.
Without typecasting, it worked. It is not showing any error. Now at the same time, if I say number one, can you see the error now?
Yeah, because
Number one.
we are storing string value, but we are giving input integer. So because of that,
So now what you have to do, there you can say like type is mismatching, convert the integer into string. So you are getting the typecast over here, right? But
hmm.
this scenario, see, it is not throwing any error. Number two data type is string. Number one data type is int. Different data type, which means it should not perform. It should throw an error. That is what the logic, right? But here it worked and it say 2030. Sorry, 2010. It concatenated. How and why? Okay. Now let's see. Coming over here with the typecasting, we have two types of typecasting over here.
Widening or narrowing. Here we are
Exactly.
widening. There we are narrowing. I think.
Widening and narrowing. This is what the typecasting that we have. Widening conversion and narrowing conversion. So widening means converting a smaller data type to larger data type. And narrowing means converting a larger data type to a smaller data type.
So in that in the second condition, which one we are doing widening or narrowing?
Okay. Now coming over here, converting a larger data type. So when you say larger, narrowing means explicitly you have to mention. Okay, explicitly. Widening means you have to implicitly it will take in care. Okay, widening, let me put it out. It is implicit narrowing explicit. Converting the larger type to the smaller type. String is the larger type. String is the larger data type. So when you want to use the string as an integer, you explicitly mention that.
So
Okay, you
you
explicitly
mean
mention that
string is larger compared to int?
compared to any data type.
What is the sequence? I think for primitive it's byte, short, int, long, float, double.
Yeah.
But
So now,
what about
if you
this
say
for
short,
string?
short, int, long,
Float,
long,
double,
yeah, float, then you have double. And in the short, if you see, you have a byte. Okay, so which will be like short
byte,
inclusion
short.
byte.
Yeah.
And coming over to the int, if you see, you also have a char. So char also will come to the int. Okay, char also will come to the int. Your short also will come to int. Your char also will come to int. Okay, this one. So now coming over to this, if you see, string is the overall largest. Overall largest. So you can say here as a string. You can say because
Okay.
here you have a char, here you have a string. So string is the largest data type. So when you want to convert it to the int, you explicitly mention that typecasting. Okay. Now integer, you want to convert it to string. Integer, you want to convert it to string. So smaller to larger, implicitly it will do. You don't want to mention that. Okay. You don't want to mention that. This typecasting is clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yes. All right.
So see, if we are doing widening, then we need to define widening class. It's required, must or not required?
Not required. See, it is not required. See, directly you will say float of, int of. So that is what. Okay. Explicitly, when you try to do, you have to say long. You have to say int like this. So let's say like okay, now let's say like this float is there. Okay. So float is the here. So now if you want to do a widening, smaller to larger, let's say double. You want a double one. Okay. Now let's say double number 4 equal to number 3. So number 3. Okay. So double number 4 equal to number 3. So here you wanted to do the typecasting. How you will do? You will say float. You will say float. Okay. You will say float of number 3. At the same time, if you say, if you have a long, let's say, okay, long, okay, let's say like long, val equal to number 4. Now here you can say double like this. Okay, you can, oh sorry, here long like this. So conversion will be like this. Explicitly you have to specify it. Okay, explicitly you have to specify. Is that is clear?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to explicitly mention. So this is what the typecasting. Okay, is
Yeah.
that is clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now coming over to the next. Yeah, the next thing which we have is the loops. Okay, so let's talk about the loops over here. So what is loops? So which we also call it like a control statements. So we call that as control statements. What is control statements? So control statements, yes, condition statements that will come. So I can put it over here. This conditions, I can put it as a control statements. And then, sorry, I forgot one more thing before I go ahead with this. Before I go ahead. In the control flow, if you see, sorry, in the control statements, the first thing you have it as a condition statements. The another part which you have is looping statements. Looping statements. I wanted to add one more point in the condition statement, that is switch case. In Java, we have a switch case as well. Switch case. So that is like, again, it is a reusable part only. It's a reusable of your if else statement. Now let's say like, so here, if you see the assignment part, I have given as you have to enter the choice 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you can make use of it. So now let's say like, I'll add one more program. Class. Coming over here. Switch tester. Now let me say like scanner. Okay, now yes, int choice equal to, okay, int choice equal to scanner dot next int. Now I'm going to say over here switch. Okay, I'm going to say switch of choice. Switch of choice. If choice is equal to 1, if choice is equal to 2, if choice is equal to 3. So you can simplify over here with the case. Case 1. If the choice is 1, what value you are entering? If choice is 1. Okay, let's say enter. You preferred addition. Then let's say case 2. Like this. Okay, so now if I execute this, okay, if I execute the switch tester, it is asking for my input. I'm going to say 1. Can you see? You preferred addition, you preferred subtraction, you preferred multiplication. But I don't want the subtraction multiplication. I want only the addition. Okay, I want only the addition, which means like after addition, I want to stop this execution. I want to stop this execution. So in that case, you will use a keyword called break. Break means stop the execution. That is what the break says. We have two keywords like this. One is continue, another one is break. I will talk about the continue in the next session. Now let's talk about the break. Break, okay, that is, it says like whatever execution you've done so far, stop it. I don't want you to go further. That is what this break will say. The break denotes that whatever you do so far is okay. You don't want to proceed. That is what stop. So break means it will stop. So now if you see over here, if I enter 1, you can see you preferred addition. Okay, you preferred addition.
Can you enter 2?
Yeah, I will do that once again for your enter choice. Now let's see. Enter your choice. 2. Can you see? Subtraction, multiplication. So now again, in each case, you have to say break. In each case, you have to say break. Now coming over here, if you say 3, You preferred multiplication. Now what will happen? Apart from 3, nothing is getting printed, right? Nothing is getting printed. So these are if statements. If choice is equal to 1, if choice is equal to 2, if choice is equal to 3. Then what is the else part? Whenever you are using a switch, you have to go ahead with a default also. You want to provide default also. Default is nothing but your it is what your else statement. Default is nothing but your else statement. So you can say like invalid input. Invalid input. Now if you run it, if you enter 5, invalid input. Invalid input. Okay, so for your assignment part coming over here, this addition subtraction, enter your choice. Okay, either you can go ahead with the switch case or you can go ahead with the if ternary also. Okay, now what I suggest is like try in both the ways also. Okay, try in both the ways. All right.
Yeah.
So yes, so today whatever we have discussed, we discussed about the operators, the pending operator, relational, ternary, and short circuit logical. Then conditional statements. In that we have talked about if else, nested statements, and then the switch keys. Right. We also talked about the typecasting, and 2 assignments has been provided to you. Okay, you can practice it. So tomorrow we will start with the looping statements and also one more keyword. So we had discussed about the break keyword also, right? Break keyword. I'm sorry. So tomorrow we will talk about one more keyword that is continue in the looping statements. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will give this programs in the chat box for your